So, MatPat has his theory on the next game, as do many FNAF fans, but I think the golden rule of FNAF has been ignored here. If it's too obvious, it's wrong. Welcome to Espiongo 2's theory on what security breach is going to be about. You see, I have an alternative theory on what's going on here, one overlooked by the majority of FNAF fans and theorists alike. First, I don't think the Princess Quest is a retelling of collecting the 16 tapes, because every tape told you a vital piece of information, and lighting a fire does nothing really. Second, there are glitched people within the minigame that attack, showing several people may have already been trapped. That's never occurred in the VR game. And third, Tape Girl leaves information about the virus within the tapes for the next beta tester who can follow her instructions until she becomes corrupt, contradicting herself. Never collect the tapes. You must collect the tapes. Princess Quest isn't about this. In Princess Quest there is no Jeremy, no Tape Girl. The game is heavily broken and abandoned by the looks of it. It's full of bugs and glitches. Remember, Princess Quest is a game, not a minigame, as it's playable, and therefore programmed by one of the developers, and then hidden within the game as a warning. What we see at the end of Princess Quest is not just William, but if you look closely, it's also Shadow Bonnie. In this game, people are already possessed. If Vanny was the first, why are the glitched people in the game? This takes place after the events of Help Wanted. What's happening here is in the company which is developing the game now, although it could take place around the same time. But what I mean is, let's think on this. Everyone has come to the conclusion that this game here, Princess Quest, is a retelling of Tape Girl's story, 16 fires, 16 tapes. They have come to this conclusion for an obvious reason, that those playing the mobile port will need an alternative way to show the story of Glitch Trap. But let's see. You need to remember that FNAF VR is not just a FNAF game. It's a game that takes place within the world of Fazbear Entertainment, created by a studio within that world. Wouldn't a mobile port also be made by them, which can't possibly be retelling the same story? Let me explain what's happening here, and why it connects to the upcoming game Security Breach. To do this, we need to follow the games leading up to this moment: FNAF World, Sister Location, FNAF 6, Help Wanted, and FNAF AR. When you open the mobile port of Help Wanted, you will see that the game is severely glitched out. Not exactly the kind of bugs that get the game greenlit to be fixed later. To load Princess Quest, you need to keep clicking a glitched Freddy plush. This unlocks all the game and the quest. But who is this girl? This girl right here. Who is it? Is it Tape Girl? Is it somebody else? Well, she isn't new. You've seen her before. Get ready to have your minds blown as I reveal not only who she is, but all the overlooked clues that solved this mystery over a year ago. The princess in this game is none other than Baby. Yes, it's Elizabeth Afton. Now I know exactly what you're going to think. Oh great, here comes another theory that's going to be basically a fanfiction with no real credible evidence. This is not the case, as you will soon see. The other thing you might think is, but we already know it's Glitch Trap taking over Vanessa's mind, so why are you talking about Baby? And sure, it appears this way, but the information we have about this will answer the questions that don't quite add up, like when did Vanny become possessed, and what part of the timeline, and why the reluctant follower doesn't always appear so reluctant. What exactly is the plan in Security Breach, and why FNAF AR and VR are linked? Why Vanny has to communicate with Glitch Trap rather than talking to him in her mind, and who and why is Vanny suddenly doing Glitch Trap's bidding? Yes, the information at the moment looks like William has selected a cult follower to follow in his footsteps, but the breadcrumbs leading there has been largely overlooked by the entire FNAF community. I waited for MatPat to release his theory. I've not mentioned my findings with anybody except 3 trusted friends. That is Benyad Amjed, the developer of the upcoming FNAF fan game Dark Murders, which will be a game that I'm actually going to be in. Rattling Colorado, that created the FNAF fan game Five Nights at Mousey's, and also Autumn Long Gaming, who does actually YouTube videos on FNAF AR. Definitely worth watching. Once MatPat gave his theory to the community, I knew he got it wrong this time. And this made me think on Mr. Hippo's frozen breadcrumbs, frozen birds moment. So just to tell you, everything new I'll mention and everything new that I found in this video was all done by me. I didn't take it from anywhere. I examined audio, images, timelines of events, throwaway words, secret conversations, and information that everybody has either ignored or largely overlooked. This, which we will be getting into shortly, is all the hidden information that I found, but first of all we're going to do a little deep dive backwards. I'll be showing credible evidence to point this theory to be true near the end of the video, as it seems more difficult to try and point it out bit by bit, but it will lead up to it as I go along. We need to jump back into the sister location to see exactly how the princess is indeed Baby. A FNAF world wasn't everyone's cup of tea, but the ending of it was really our first reveal of Baby. The message was, "Something terrible is coming. Her name is Baby. It's too late to deactivate her." Awesome revealing. Except, was this the game? This FNAF sister location? Is this the something terrible? You know, spoilers for anyone that's not played sister location, but Baby was indeed a bit unhinged at times, but in all honesty, other than a voice, the only time we actually see Baby is in the minigame, the point that we take a CPU. But you have to remember that, you hear that completely correctly, Baby gives you a code and you beepity-boppity into a hatch, it opens up and a little CPU is inside. Irregardless of what ending you go through, into the scooping room or into the private room, you've just taken the CPU before her destruction. It's kind of an unchangeable choice. It's often an overlooked aspect as you plug it into your handheld unit, and you most likely forgot all about it when Ennard is revealed. Since Ennard appears, you know, at first to have his own identity, we know that Michael Afton gets scooped, takes his body for a bit and then gets spewed up, all while Baby reveals, "You won't die, you won't die, you won't..." Sure, it's an epic ending, but let's consider Baby's motivation here. Michael is here to free her, but her actions directly oppose this. Considering she has the sound illusion discs and the pins that allow her to change form, she could just walk out the door with Michael in the first night. So since Baby isn't saying, "Hey, Michael, did Dad send you? Let's get out of here," it's rather apparent that she has her own plan, but it requires Michael to do something. And at first Baby's curious, her memory is happy. "I don't recognize you. You're new. I recognize this scenario though." The first breadcrumb is Baby mentioning this being a scenario. By its definition, it's the same as saying, "You're new, but I recognize the plan, and it's come now." Michael is under the impression that he's doing his father's work, or undoing it, but it's clear Baby does not want the plan of Michael. She has other orders on what to do. She's even aware, even if Michael is not. The first thing to note is the baby face clock in the control module. I always found that quite interesting. But you know, Baby does conflict with Hand Unit. When Hand Unit goes offline, Baby informs Michael that a prior guard made a hole and it worked for him. But it's interesting because when you're under there, they stare at you and then they leave on saying, "She is watching." Talking dolls. Have we seen this before? Baby's advice is not to look in the eyes of the Bidibabs, but we know in FNAF AR that sometimes eye contact is best avoided. The Bidibabs are completely aware you are hiding, and this won't be the only time that we see hide and seek played throughout these things. hide and seek actually leads all the way up to security breach and Vanessa. But let's continue where we are just now. We know that hand unit's advice would have killed Michael, or the way I see it, shown him that he couldn't die, possibly. I mean, she does tell you to go through quietly, and yet you have to face off against Funtime Freddy. But it's strange that they all of the animatronics, minus Baby at the time, wants to kill him. At least it's explainable in dark rooms where they can't see his face, but it conflicts with a plan to use him to escape. Baby appears somewhat remorseful, not understanding why she killed Elizabeth, but as the nights go on, she becomes more sinister, saying she protected you, then she kidnapped you. Which reminds me of the Chica High School years, you know, about kidnapping and rescuing the person, but I'll come back to the Chica High School years a little later. All this leads to Michael saving the CPU and getting scooped. It lasts a while, but you know, they fight, Baby is kicked out, she says she'll put herself back together. Have we heard that before? Well, it was a good game, but it's not exactly the something terrible is coming that I expected from FNAF World. And Michael said he put her back together, but not exactly. We don't really know much about what happened to her until, you know, Scrap Baby is revealed. We know she burns, and this is where I'm going to have to explain. The FNAF AR trailer is something often overlooked by theorists. It's just an advert for the game. Except it's not. If you have a keen eye, you will have seen that it's not just advertising the game, it's advertising the service. Well, starting from the teaser, we see a phone on a table, we get a message, "Hello? It's me. I'm going to find you." We see the phone glitch out, and there's a shadow Freddy that appears, and a message coming from a sea. This event takes place first, as we see in the trailer, the teaser of the phone held in the FNAF AR trailer. See it? Right there? Right there? Yeah, you can see it. So, that is this teaser. It's in an advert to admit one person to some kind of event. We don't know exactly what the event is for, but I'm going to hazard a guess. You see that this teaser takes place within the distribution factory. We know that several components have been scanned, not only the ones in the teaser but in the trailer. So I assume the person in the trailer watched the teaser before watching the rental service advertisement. You know, the one that Markiplier ends up starring in. And the stuff about him I mentioned in another video. We heard two warnings from Hand Unit in FNAF VR. One very well known and the other one somewhat overlooked. It says, Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for accidental digital consciousness transference and real-world manifestations of digital characters. Now, we all know about the accidental digital consciousness transference. It's the whole, where did Glitch Trap come from? Oh, accidental. We know. But this second one, real-world manifestations of digital characters, why is this so overlooked? First of all, that is massively more important than accidental. See, that's accidental, supposedly. Yes, it's not supposed to happen. It's an accident. This is saying literal, real-world manifestations of digital characters. We're talking anyone, everyone, from any of the prior games, suddenly manifesting into real life. So here's what I think's going on. I'm certain that while watching the teaser, the player also received the messages going by the hello from the unknown. I believe the person in the FNAF AR trailer is Vanessa. There are many clues showing the room belongs to a woman. The woman's mask on the mirror, the pink iron board sitting in front of a baby with a stomach fan. Wait, what? A baby with a stomach fan? Yes. Actually, you can actually see it. Right there. See me pointing at it? Yes. There's a baby with a stomach fan. You see, every time a company accidentally puts a wrong code into the game, Fazbear Entertainment immediately shut them down. But this is not the case. As Vanny watches the AR trailer, which you can see is titled New Phone, she starts to see these real-world manifestations of digital characters. If we go through the trailer, the world starts to glitch, characters appear, messages, and finally on escaping, a jump scare from everyone's favourite circus baby. Yes. And I believe in this moment, Baby puts her consciousness into Vanessa, with two things to do. 1, release her father, and 2, get revenge on her brother. The trailer is stuffed with glitches. Some glitches can be decoded. Some are AR markers. Oh, and the AR markers one are an absolute nightmare to try and work out. AR markers are images that help place things within the game. If you play the game and look at these markers with your phone, you can hold a secret. The majority has been found, but there is secret tests and images of Susie's dog from Fruity Maze. So, for example, there's just odd things in this trailer, which makes me think this is Vanessa experiencing real-world manifestations of digital characters. This is the birth of Vanessa, but I'm going to explain that Vanessa didn't just wake up one day evil. I'll get to that. Okay. Once possessed by Baby, at the end of the trailer, we see Ness is working in the AR team. I suspect she found Baby's CPU and added it to the scan roster. We know a virus hits the AR development team, but everyone assumes this is Glitchtrap. While I'm sure what infected it was actually Baby's CPU, and not Glitchtrap's, as everyone is assuming. Why? Well, you may have overlooked a few details in the emails between Ness and Lewis. Now, I'm not saying that these emails haven't been checked. I'm saying that these emails haven't been looked at from the correct angle. The first hint is a mention of Ness ordering a Viking blood calendar. But what is a Viking blood calendar? But it's not what it is, but why it's done. That's the thing to consider. See, although it's a torture device that kills in a horrific way, its use was on royalty, on noblemen. When the prince, would murder his father, the princess can order this execution as revenge for the killed father. Also note, the audio from the Remnant Whispers actually says, "My son burnt us." And I'll add in another video all the messages that I've found in the Remnant Whispers, and there are loads, but we'll get to that. Yeah. Since Ness has no father, nor did a prince kill hers, it doesn't really add up. But remember, Michael did kill his father, and Baby along with him. Baby was made to do something, as revealed within the trap of FNAF 6.
Did you really think this job just fell out of the sky for you?
Although, she was waiting on this moment planned by her father. Lewis also makes another off-the-wall comment. He says, "I really liked your rainbow streaks. It really brightened up the place." Interesting detail. But we do know one, an animatronic with rainbow streaks in the hair. Scrap Baby. Okay, so maybe you're not thinking, wow, these are massive, connects them together. But wait. The single biggest overlooked clue is the reference to Ness buying 3 male lifelike masks. Why is this a huge detail? Well, because I believe Vanessa sent the code of Glitchtrap to the Help Wanted team, and that Jeremy was trying to warn everyone. He knew something was wrong. I don't think he tried to flush the virus out either, since Tape Girl wouldn't attempt what had actually failed before. At this point, the baby animatronic has been built, the baby virus already inside. Baby has scavenged the parts needed to bring her father back. Ness has ordered these lifelike mirror masks, probably for Baby herself. I think that Baby killed Jeremy and hid his body. And what Tape Girl is now seeing is Baby with a realistic mask of Jeremy's face. But she's taken it off. Look at the tapes. Look at what the tapes say. In tape 9 it says,
"There was something that looked like a Halloween mask lying on the floor. I didn't understand. Ink must have spilled. It was only then I heard a shuffle. It was from the room and I realized Jeremy must be there. I went back and peered in the window, but I couldn't see his face. He had the visor covering his head. He had ink spilled on himself as well. The front of his shirt looked black in the dark room. He turned his head in my direction, but I don't think he knew I was there."
You see here, Jeremy's face is hidden. He appears to be working at night. I think Baby is either taking off or putting on the mask of Jeremy to replicate his face more. I'm guessing she hid the real Jeremy's body in the dark room, which is why it took a couple of days at least until they found his body. And the dark liquid definitely could be oil. I also think that Baby was experimenting with the remnant. Hence, in the part where it said that the supply, cause it was glowing, she was doing something with the remnant, probably taking what was being fetched by Shadow Bonnie, the Shadow remnant, and injecting it into the game to power Glitchtrap. I'd assume. Whether this is Baby as an animatronic by the distribution center possessing Baby's CPU and using the sound illusion discs, working with Vanessa, or if it's Vanessa herself possessed by Baby, I'm not sure. But I do think it's a former. On the next tape, it says,
"The drawers have been emptied out. Someone was here. I don't think it was spring cleaning either. No, there was plastic on the floor. Someone was definitely here during the night. It had to have been the client. I mean, they sent us that stuff in the first place with no explanation, told us to scan it, said it would expedite the process so we wouldn't need a program any pathfinding ourselves. It was a budget thing. I guess it was just junk and circuit boards, things like that. Looked pretty old. Somehow, though, there was usable code in some of it. It seemed to take hold by itself. Then things started changing, but that's when it started appearing. At least that's what Jeremy said."
The line has always caught my attention is there is plastic on the floor. Very old detail. But let's look at what's been said here. Someone's coming in at night. The client. Emptying all the drawers. Okay. But then says they were sent the stuff in the first place with no explanation. See, that kind of messed up with Fazmere Entertainment is. As we hear time and time again, them closing down any studio that may accidentally release something. So why would they send that? I assume it was sent by Baby. It was sent by Vanessa. So the biggest mystery here is everybody has got it in their mind that Jeremy somehow committed suicide or cut off his own face because of the mask. But no. Even when originally there was going to be the Silver Parasol games, Jeremy actually has a picture of his face. If we're going along the lines that the storyline was going to include this website, then Vanessa would have an image of Jeremy's face. So to create a lifelike male human mask, to put it on, then definitely it could make Baby look like Jeremy. And then all the weird things that are happening would all make sense, because Baby is there to inject the dark remnant being collected by the people from AR into the computer for Glitchtrap to get stronger and eventually come out. That's what I believe. Anyway, I can't imagine that Fazbear Entertainment are just going to grab a bunch of old circuit boards and send them to scan to assist a game, especially within the pathfinding. Now let's look at tape 6.
"I came in early this morning. No one was here. At least that's what I thought. The supply room was lit. I didn't even notice Jeremy standing in the testing room as I walked past. The supply room was always so bright, glowing from all the way down the hall."
Now we know that the glowing is definitely an effect of the remnant, or the remnant of FNAF AR is glowing. So it appears that Baby is doing something with the remnant at this point. But with Jeremy now working at night for something, I think that Baby tries to put her father together as responsible for securing Glitchtrap to the logs. As we know, the logs act as a Trojan horse, but not why. And if the lighting of the fires is Baby giving Glitchtrap a secure place to hide should Tape Girl try to destroy him, I think it would link the 16 with the 16. 16 hidden tapes, Baby securing that Glitchtrap survives, being split into 16 pieces. Oh, and finally we'll head on to the lawsuit.
I heard a pretty heated conversation this morning between Dale, our manager, and someone else on the line. It really feels like this project is in trouble, in no small part thanks to the lawsuit. I'm sure. There has to be a lawsuit. There's no way there isn't. It happened in this building, just a few doors down. I think it was made worse by the fact that Jeremy tried to tell us something was wrong, but as a dev team, we all just saw it as a challenge to find what the problem was and fix it. Who could have known that? I gotta go.
Here we get cut off. But we hear about Jeremy. At the time, we thought that the lawsuit was because Jeremy had cut off his own face or ended his own life. But it doesn't add up to the way Tape Girl addresses it. The part where she says,
I think it's made worse by the fact that Jeremy tried to tell us something was wrong.
To me, that sentence is confusing. Had it been said,
what made it worse was that Jeremy had tried to tell us something was wrong.
Then I'd think, yes, maybe he cut off his face, maybe he's ended his life. But saying,
I think it's made worse by the fact that Jeremy tried to tell us something was wrong,
makes me think that either Jeremy's dead body has been found in the dark room, but it didn't match with the people seeing him walking around, or is a possibility that Baby, who was using Jeremy, ran out of the remnant to power herself as she gave it all to Glitchtrap, and then possibly just the animatronic just collapsed on the floor. So when they came in, there was just a baby animatronic on the floor with a Jeremy mask that no longer had the sound illusion discs, and everyone was like, what's going on here? And then they went to the dark room and found Jeremy's body. Now, that's my theory. As for the evidence, that has to come to the next video because we're hitting 27 minutes here and I'm just explaining the theory. I have the evidence to prove the theory, but I don't want to make an hour-long video. So, thank you for enjoying my theory. I'm sorry that I can't get the evidence until the next video, but understand that I'll be doing it in the next couple of days, so there won't be a massive wait. I'll just do a brief summary of what I've explained here on the next one, and then I'll go through all the evidence I found to prove that the princess in Princess Quest is in fact Baby, and that the clues have been there since FNAF AR, and I have so many clues that I found, and I'm not talking made up clues either, literal proof, clues, words, images, text. FNAF AR, you tried to hide it. You really tried to hide it. But I found it. I found it. And soon I will release all the information, explaining exactly what Vanessa's plan is, why Gregory's involved, everything. Stick around.